everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica and today's video is all about base makeup. One of the most common questions I get is, why is my foundation patchy? And this is kind of a difficult question to answer because there are so many reasons as to why this could be happening, like your skin prep, the type of products you're using. There's like liquid versus cream versus powder products. So today I try to address every single reason as to why your foundation could be getting patchy in partnership with 𝒕𝒉𝒆𝒕𝒊𝒄. Let's start.
Skin prep is the most important step of base makeup. If your skin isn't properly moisturized, your foundation is going to emphasize any texture, pores, and fine lines on your face. Like for example, here's the difference on an area of my hands with a lot of fine lines. On the left, you can see the skin looks dry. The foundation is settling into the fine lines and is emphasizing any wrinkles, while the hand on the right looks a lot more even and healthy. This is what happens when you don't prep your skin at all, but things can also go wrong if you do too much with your skin prep. For example, using a primer that's too sticky or applying too much primer can create a heavy layer over your skin that begins to pill once you start blending in your foundation. This is probably the worst case scenario because not only will you have to start your entire makeup routine over, it also creates a mess and the foundation shavings can get stuck to your hair. If you use a moisturizer that's too thick or you apply too much of it, you'll have to wait for it to absorb fully or it'll mix with the foundation and mess up the coverage and texture, shearing it out to almost nothing. Unlike foundation, we want the moisturizer to settle into the fine lines to fill them in, but using too much moisturizer to the point that it mixes with the foundation can cause the foundation to also settle into the fine lines, which you can see here. You want the perfect balance of moisture, so you need something hydrating without being too thick or sticky. For this, I found products with hyaluronic acid like this 𝒕𝒉𝒆𝒕𝒊𝒄 Ultra Low Molecular Hyaluronic Acid Toner have the perfect watery texture. If you don't know what hyaluronic acid is, it is my favorite ingredient in skincare. It's a molecule that can bind to and hold a large amount of water, so whenever I see this in products, I know it's going to be very hydrating even when it has a lightweight consistency. Using this toner before makeup also helps to clean and remove any dust on your face before you start applying foundation. Next, I'm using the 𝒕𝒉𝒆𝒕𝒊𝒄 Ultra Low Molecular Hyaluronic Acid Serum. This also has a very watery texture, so it absorbs very quickly and hydrates the skin without feeling heavy or sticky, so you can apply makeup right after. If you want to try any of the 𝒕𝒉𝒄 products I mentioned, they're doing a sale on Amazon for a limited time, so make sure to click my link in the description box. I also recommend using serums for skin prep for beginners because not only is it something you probably already use in your skincare, so it's one less product to buy, but with serums, you don't have to worry about whether they're water-based or silicone-based. Since serums are meant to absorb into the skin, they won't interfere with your makeup once they absorb. Primers, on the other hand, are meant to create a thicker layer between your foundation and your skin, and like foundations, they come in water-based and silicone-based form, so you have to check the ingredients to make sure they're compatible with your foundation. The reasoning behind this is silicone is hydrophobic, so blending it with a water-based product is going to cause your makeup to separate or pill throughout the day, but it's pretty easy to check whether something's water-based or silicone-based. All you need to remember is if you see ingredients that end in cone, methicone, or siloxane within the first 3 ingredients, it's a silicone-based product. Otherwise, it's water-based. Easy, right? I hope so, because it's time for a pop quiz. Can you tell whether this is silicone-based or water-based? The first 2 ingredients end in siloxane and methicone, so if you said silicone, you're right. Let's try the next one. This one's a little tricky because it does have methicone in the 7th ingredient, but that's not in the first few ingredients, so this is water-based. Just a few more. Now that that's covered, it's time to move on to the foundation application. There are a few reasons why your base can get patchy at this step. If your foundation looks like this with dried streaks and harsh border between the foundation and your skin, you're either waiting too long before blending in your foundation, or the product you're using is too matte for your skin. For example, here's a matte foundation that I'll leave to dry down for a bit before I start blending. If you wait too long, by the time you start blending, the borders will not blend out because that's what starts drying first. And since the foundation has already started drying, if you try to force it to blend out, you'll start rubbing off the top layer, leaving behind dry-looking patches and streaks. The only way to fix this is to blend quicker or switch out your foundation with something that dries down slower. Another cause of patchy foundation could be something as simple as a sponge that's too wet. When you're using a beauty sponge, you want it to be slightly damp, not soaking wet. If the sponge is too wet, it'll pick up your foundation, leaving patches that emphasize your skin texture. So to fix this, either wait for your sponge to dry a little before blending, or use cushion puff to blend your foundation instead. These have a very similar effect to a sponge, but they're used dry, so they don't shear out the product as much and they'll give you more coverage. For this reason, cushion puffs are also really great for blending out your concealer. The order in which you apply products actually makes a difference. If you're using any cream or liquid products, like blush and contour, you have to use those before you powder. Using liquid and cream products after powdering will separate and remove the foundation, and it's going to prevent it from blending properly, leaving this harsh border. I'll show you the difference in how it blends based on the order in which you apply the products. cream blush also causes the foundation to separate, although it is less noticeable until you see it up close like this. But if you're still noticing the separation even if you're not powdering before applying the liquid blush or contour, you might be using a self-setting foundation. These are super matte foundations that dry quickly, and if you check the ingredients, you'll see alcohol pretty high up in the list. While these are great for that long-lasting matte finish, because the foundation creates its own dry layer on top of your skin, it has a similar effect to setting it with powder, so you won't be able to use liquid blush on top of it. If you're often noticing smudges or creases in your makeup, blend everything one more time before powdering. Powder is what prevents the cream products from smudging and transferring. It fixes everything in place. But if there are any lines or creases in your makeup, especially under your eyes, powdering them without blending them out first means those creases will stay in place and there's nothing you can do to blend them out once you've powdered. So make sure to go over everything one last time with your sponge or cushion before setting. Here you can see the creases really emphasize the fine lines and wrinkles, but after blending everything out and then setting it with powder, everything just looks so much smoother. Another thing that can go wrong with powder is if you've layered a foundation for more coverage or you've used a very wet foundation like I've noticed specifically with cushion foundations, you need a powder in a very specific way. Because these have a stickier feeling, whatever you're using to apply the powder, whether it's a brush or a puff, it needs to be evenly coated in powder. If there is any area of the puff that is not covered in powder, it's going to pick up the wet foundation and leave behind a mark like this. Setting everything with powder is also essential if you want to use any powder, blush, or contour. Because it creates a dry powder layer, the powder products can apply and blend smoothly without getting stuck to the wet foundation. Putting all of these steps together, I'll show you my flawless go-to base makeup routine right now. So I'm starting with the 𝒕𝒉𝒄 toner to moisturize and get a fresh base. Next I'm applying the 𝒕𝒉𝒄 serum to also moisturize and as a makeup primer before I start applying foundation. I'm pumping my foundation directly onto the back of my hand before spreading it evenly across my entire face and blending it in with a beauty sponge for the most natural finish. After that, I'm applying concealer to any area I want to brighten, and then I'm blending that in with a cushion puff for more coverage. Before setting everything with powder, I'm going to use my cream products, so cream contour and cream/liquid blush. Remember to blend out any creases, especially under the eyes before powdering. Evenly coat the powder puff in powder, and then set the entire face. After that, I'm moving on to the powder products, so powder blush, powder contour, and highlighter. I finished my eye and lip makeup off camera, and this is the final before and after. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks again to 𝒕𝒉𝒄 for sponsoring this video. If you like this video, remember to like and subscribe, and comment any future university topics you want to see me cover, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!